Welcome to the Widows Collective, where grief meets hope, healing, and community. I'm Lauren Lentz, grief coach, fellow widow, and the heart behind this space. There is life before loss, and then there is life after. If you're here, it likely means your life has been turned upside down by the death of your person. Maybe you've just found yourself in this new world that feels unrecognizable, or maybe you've been walking it for a while, trying to figure out what healing looks like now. I want you to know you are not alone. This podcast is a gathering place for widows living in the after. Together, we'll name the ache, honor the love, and share tools, truths, and stories that help you feel supported along the way. My hope is that every episode gives you a sense of community, comfort, and permission to meet yourself exactly where you are. Hello, and welcome back to episode 17, Finding the Right Kind of Support for You. I want to start by saying this bonus episode is for anyone who may be looking for additional support but isn't sure where to begin. Maybe it all feels overwhelming. Maybe decision fatigue has set in and you just want someone to gently guide you toward the next best step. Grief has a way of making everything feel louder, while at the same time completely exhausting. As we wrap up this mini-series, if you will, I want to talk about the kinds of support that actually meet you where you are. Because here's the truth. There's no right way to grieve, and there is no single type of guidance that works for everyone, or even for the same person at different times. Before we dive into these options, I want to share a little bit of my own story. Right after Kevin died, we were thrown into the holidays. Being the type of person I am, I dove into every support option I could find, meeting widows in person, attending grief groups through my insurance, and even attempting to read books on grief and widowhood. I wanted to know how to dig myself out of the hole that grief had placed me in. Back then, just 6 years ago, offerings looked very different. Group support wasn't as accessible as it is now. Thankfully, things have evolved tremendously since then. But I digress. So the holidays passed, and I was still in a dark space. Not knowing where to turn, I jumped into the first online group I could find, thinking it would be exactly what I needed. Very quickly, I realized it wasn't. The group was large. The members were in very different seasons of grief. The content felt overwhelming. And because I was working full-time, I rarely made it to the calls. So instead of feeling witnessed, I ended up feeling frustrated, disconnected, and more alone than before. Looking back, I can see where I went wrong. I wasn't yet ready for that type of program, and if I could go back, I would approach it very differently. And that's why I created this episode, to help you see the different ways support can show up and to give you permission to choose what feels right for you in this season of your grief. Grief is heavy and it's isolating, and sometimes it can feel like no one could possibly understand what you're going through. That's why gentle guidance matters. Support in any form does a few important things. It helps your nervous system regulate. It gives your mind a container to process intense emotions. It creates space to notice what's happening inside of you without judgment. And I want to take a moment to differentiate two kinds of structured companionship you might encounter: therapy and coaching. Therapy is often about processing trauma, managing mental health, and navigating the clinical aspects of grief. Coaching, on the other hand, specifically grief coaching, is more about guiding you through the journey of living with your loss, rebuilding routines, exploring identity, and learning how to carry grief in a way that allows life to slowly move forward. Both are beautiful, powerful, and they can absolutely happen at the same time. They meet different needs, and neither is better than the other. They just serve different purposes. And sometimes support doesn't have to be formal at all. Even quiet, self-guided practices can be incredibly grounding. For many women, especially early in grief, self-guided programs feel the safest. It's support you control on your own terms, at your own pace. It might look like journaling your thoughts or emotions, reading books or workbooks on grief, creating gentle routines or rituals, quiet reflection, walks, or creative outlets. This option works well if you need control over when and how you engage. Talking feels exhausting, or you want space to process without outside input. In Through the Fog, my 6-week self-guided support, it looks like short, digestible videos each week paired with a workbook that helps you dive deeper into the theme of the week. You can move through it at your own pace, pause when you need to, and still have tools to reflect, journal, and practice self-compassion without pressure or expectations from anyone else. Self-guided doesn't mean doing it alone. It's just trusting yourself to move in small, manageable steps while still having the tools that you need. For others, group support can feel incredibly grounding and healing. Being in a space where others just get it without explanation can be profoundly comforting. You hear stories that echo your own, and it reminds you that you're not alone in a world that suddenly feels very isolating. Group containers might be right for you if you're craving connection, but don't want to carry the whole conversation alone. It helps to hear how others are navigating similar losses. You want to feel seen in a safe space without judgment. In Reimagine, my group grief community for widows, it looks like a 12-week guided experience where women come together in small, intimate groups. Each week focuses on a theme like rediscovering your identity, tapping into your inner healer, honoring your loved one, and ways to reimagine a new normal. We use structured exercises and reflective prompts and group discussions so that every participant is held and heard and no one feels alone. This is a space where it's safe to be raw, real, and fully yourself, and to witness others doing the same. And it's also okay to stop and pause here and acknowledge that a group space may feel like too much for you in this moment. Some days, listening to other people's pain can be really overwhelming. That doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It just means your nervous system is asking for something different right now. Trust that where you are in the moment doesn't mean forever. As your grief shifts and evolves, group support may speak to you in a way that it doesn't today. One-on-one support offers a different kind of holding. It's space that's entirely for you. This could look like a grief container, therapist, coach, or a trusted person, someone whose role is to focus solely on your experience. One-to-one might be helpful if you want privacy and depth, if your grief feels complicated, layered, or hard to put into words, or if you want help making sense of emotions that feel stuck or heavy. In my sacred grief container, one-to-one looks like a deeply personalized, organic grief coaching experience. We work together to explore your grief, care for your nervous system, create reflective and actionable exercises, and guide you toward clarity in your life after loss. You'll have space to share openly, receive tailored guidance, and build a practice that honors your loved one while allowing you to slowly take baby steps forward in this new life. This kind of support can be incredibly powerful, and it can also feel really vulnerable. If it's not accessible or doesn't feel right yet, that's okay. Many women find their journey evolves over time. Some start in a group with me, build trust, and then transition to one-to-one sessions. Others begin in one-to-one and later join a group to expand their sense of community. Both pathways are valid, and it's all about timing, and this timing is entirely yours. Then there's another option, one that probably brought you here today. Gentle, low-pressure support that's available on your terms. Connection that meets you exactly where you are without asking more than you're ready to give. Sometimes those moments look like listening to podcasts quietly while doing other tasks, following Instagram accounts that normalize grief without demanding anything from you, observing Facebook groups where you read and maybe even rarely post, creating Pinterest boards with quotes, reflections, or visual reminders that you're not alone. These resources can sit in the background of your life, available whenever you need them without pressure. At the end of the day, support isn't a ladder you climb. It's more like a landscape you move through. You might shift between self-guided practices, group containers, one-to-one care, and quiet online spaces, sometimes all in the same year, sometimes even in the same month. The important thing to remember is this: you are allowed to choose what feels right for you in this moment. And not choosing is also a valid choice. Trust yourself. Pay attention to what your body, mind, and heart are asking for in this moment. Wherever you are, however you're feeling, you're not doing this wrong. You don't have to rush toward anything. You just need to be here with the guidance or the space to care for yourself that feels right. This was short and sweet. Like I said, just meant to be a little bonus episode for those of you who are moving into this new year and are asking yourself what support might look like, or feeling really overwhelmed at the varying options of support and needed some more gentle guidance. If this episode resonated with you and you feel drawn to explore something more, you can check out my offerings at laurenlentz.com or follow along on Instagram at I'm Sorry We're Friends. And remember, you can always reach out, book a free discovery session. I'd be honored to talk through support options with you. Until next time, big hugs and lots of love. You've been listening to The Widows Collective. I'm Lauren Lentz, and it means so much to me that you spent this time here today. If you found comfort or connection in today's episode, I invite you to please subscribe, leave a rating, or share it with someone who might need a little support. You can also follow me on Instagram at I'm Sorry We're Friends and join my email list at laurenlentz.com to explore my one-to-one grief coaching, group program, retreats, and other tools designed to help widows navigate loss with understanding and guidance. I hope you'll join me next week for another conversation where we'll continue exploring grief, healing, and ways to reimagine life after loss. I'm sorry you're here, and I'm so grateful that you are. Thank you for being a part of this community. Your presence is an act of courage and self-compassion, and I'm honored to walk this path alongside you.